So I want to share with you, I printed out a poster of just one testimonial of one of my clients I've worked with. And I want to share with you her testimonial, and I want to point out a couple things. So this is Jasmine Rico. She is a local celebrity in South Texas. I'm from Texas, by the way. That's where I grew up. Okay, who here has got a loud theatrical voice? Will you please read her testimonial for us?
My marriage and my marketing career were over. I had no choice but to start over, and I was in so much emotional pain. By the grace of God, Daryl Sean Price and I quickly built a mentorship where he uplifted and helped me to accept myself, my progress, and to recognize my own growth. Daryl taught me to accept, listen to, trust myself, and be at peace with whom and where I am in my development. I am happy to report I have found a precious love, and I have my dream career as a television news anchor.
Thank you. Okay, so I don't share this with you to brag about how awesome I am as a coach, but I want to point out a couple things. In her testimony, first off, how many of you would love to have testimonials like that from your clients that show those results? Yes? Yes. There we go. Okay, when I ask a question, I want response. I want you to get engaged. Let's try this again. How many of you would love to have a testimonial like that from all of your clients?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. There we go. Thank you. So, in what she told you about me, can you feel how grateful she is for the results she got?
Yes.
Yeah. Can you feel how excited she is for the life she's created?
Yes.
Can you feel how energized she is for whatever's coming next?
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you have any clue from this testimonial what type of mentor I am?
Nope.
Do you have any clue how many books I've written?
No.
Do you have any clue what my experiences are?
Nope.
My certificates?
Nope.
Why not?
Because those are not what's important in her story.
Yes. It is the results you get for your clients because you are so clear about your core message and what you do and what people get out of working with you that becomes the foundation of everything you do for credibility. Without that foundation, you can go out and write 100 different books on neat ideas that might work, that might not, that might get you some attention. But it's the transformation you bring to other people that really creates the success you will have as a mentor and how it keeps growing. So I want to share with you, and I'll tell you, I've had conversations like this with clients. And it's great that clients find me through referrals and testimonials and things that I've written and talk shows that I've been a guest on, and you name it, and they find you through those areas. But it's when I have that conversation with them, whether it's via a video I've pre-recorded, or a one-on-one phone conversation, or an in-person meeting, that they really get to understand this is the result I get if I choose you to be my coach or my mentor. So I'm going to share with you, this is how I present myself. When I am talking to a new client, when I'm talking to someone who found me through whatever means I have out there, I tell them, I work with people who want to create their happiest life by learning to be in tune with and true to your higher self. Again, does my statement have anything to do with all those credibility builders we were talking about? Could you feel how powerful that statement is? Could you feel my confidence and that's my core message?
Yes.
Okay, so how about we work on getting you guys a little more clear on your core message?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah.
I didn't even ask a question. She's ready. I love it. So, what is the most important thing? What is the most important piece of finding your core message? Where is it located?
Right here.
In us.
Yes.
Core.
You are the most important piece. Let me tell you, every single person in this room, and I am impressed. I was blown away just by the little activities you did. And you know, it was completely planned that Gerald is asking the same questions I'm going to ask right before I get up and present. We worked on this for hours. We spent months planning it. Just kidding. He actually had no clue what I was presenting except for the fact he knows what my core message is and what I do to help mentors find theirs. And I had no clue what he was going to do beforehand. But yet it was somehow synchronous. So backpedaling a little bit, let's come back to where we were. you are the most important piece in finding your core message. Because you have had such unique experiences. You've had so many things happen in your life that has created transformation for you. Those key crossroads in your life, those crucial moments where you made a choice that got you to where you are now, hidden behind those is where you find the principles that create your core message. Now, let's talk a little bit about mentors versus coaches. And I know there's probably a lot of people in this room who identify as a coach or a life coach or a wellness coach or whatever. I gotta tell you, I hate the word coach. And let me tell you why. Let's take the NFL. Pick one team. How many coaches do they have per team?
A lot.
Way too many. Personally, if I was a player, I would be overwhelmed. This one's going to coach me to kick. This one's going to coach me to throw. This one's going to coach me to run. This one will coach me to tackle. This one will coach me on my spirit. They've got coaches for everything. How many of those coaches have ever played on a professional NFL team?
Usually just
What's that?
The head coaches are usually
Some of them. Most of the head coaches are. But what about the others? They're coaching them.
Some have, some haven't.
Yeah.
It depends.
And the last time I did this and asked this question, I had somebody who actually was almost picked up by a professional NFL team. He goes, well, I know this person, and this person who is. I'm like, okay, but compare that to how many coaches there are in the NFL. You can coach people on anything you learn. It's great. It's wonderful. I can go out right now and learn everything I need to know intellectually about childbirth. And I can be your childbirth coach. Because I know stuff.
Is it weird?
Yeah, it'd be very weird. But I cannot be your childbirth mentor. Because I've never been through it. And I never will. This is why you are the key to your core message. Because the most powerful transformation you will bring to your clients' lives is when you get to teach them the transformations that have happened in your life. Because you've been through it. Okay, so I'm going to tell you a quick little story. I wasn't actually going to share this today, but it's coming up that it really needs to share. So about 8-9 years ago, I had one of the most momentous things happen in my life. This has affected the course of my life more than probably any other event. It was my divorce. Not necessarily a happy event, but I'll tell you, I did a lot of soul searching after that. I really got in tune with who I was. I really started to figure out what makes me happy. And so, one of the things I love is I've always loved human behavior. So I said, you know what? I don't have somebody telling me, oh, we can't afford it, you're not allowed to go back to school anymore. I can do this. Yes, we've had that conversation many times. So I went in to get my master's in counseling. And I started going through counseling courses. And I started eating up the information I was getting. But then I hated the practical application part. And let me explain. Modern therapists kind of goes something like this. They teach you to sit someone in a big comfortable chair like what Kevin's in. Yep, help him relax. Then open up the closet where he hides all his skeletons. Pull one out and throw it at him.
Right.
Deal with that.
Yeah.
Oh, you're not dealing with it? Let me help you deal with it. Oh, you still didn't deal with it? Here, deal with it again. I don't want to sit here and throw all the bad things that people haven't worked through at them over and over and over again. Then I took 2 elective courses in that entire training. The 2 elective courses were about life coaching. I'd never heard of it before. Okay, I am not from Utah. I understand in Utah you can pick up a rock, throw it, and you will hit a coach or a mentor somewhere.
Yes.
Any direction. You will.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, in Texas, it wasn't the same thing. If you had said life coach, people would look at you like, you need to be coached on how to live. You just breathe in and out. You eat food. You pay your bills, and you're good.
Sleep occasionally.
Sometimes you sleep. Well, suffering insomniac, it's hard for me to talk about sleep.
That's why it's occasionally.
Yeah. So, I took these elective courses, and it was a whole different ballgame. Apparently, what you do in life coaching is you take somebody wherever they are. You go to the place that they are with them. Hey, I'm in this dark spot. You know, I've been there. I know what that's like. Let's talk about where you are. Let's talk about where you want to be. Well, let's build a bridge. Because I know what that's like. I also know what this is like. So let me help you build a bridge. Maybe you do pull a skeleton out and use the pieces to build a bridge. Yeah. But you're not throwing that skeleton at them over and over again saying, you gotta fix this. Come on. Keep going. So that's what kind of got me into this whole idea of I want to be not just a coach who knows how to build a bridge, but I want to be a mentor who has built the bridge myself. Because then I can sit with anybody. I can have the compassion and the empathy needed to build that relationship of trust so I can help them get results like this. So, and you know, it's interesting. One of the things that I did as I was getting my counseling degrees, I applied for a lot of different jobs with this new, not so product or consumer driven area of study that I was in. These are not the easy jobs to get, guys. Service-based industries are difficult because they want to see results you've got, even if you've never worked before. One of the jobs that most frequently pops up for anyone who's working on counseling is addiction counselors. Nobody would hire me as an addiction counselor. Do you know why?
You haven't been addicted.
What?
You haven't been addicted.
Exactly! I never went through the steps that I'm teaching people. So they kind of got the message. The most powerful transformation these people who are struggling will get is from somebody who's made that transformation themselves.
Right.
So, I have a gift for you. I want to share with you the tool that we use with our clients that helps them dig into the key crossroads of their life, pull out the principles, and then craft their core message based on principles of transformation they've had in their life. And I want to give this gift to you, but I need a commitment from all of you first. So, here are my questions. And I want you to be honest. If you can't commit to this, it takes some hard work. It takes some really digging in vulnerably into who you are and being willing to face those places that weren't so happy to really find your core message. So, if I share this gift with you, are you willing to examine the crucial crossroads in your life authentically?
Yes.
Absolutely. Okay. Are you willing to use this tool to create lasting change in your clients' lives?
Yes.
And the big one here. Are you willing to be vulnerable enough with your clients and yourself to create a space that will empower them to have lasting change?
Absolutely.
Hell yes. Okay. My business partner, Jolene, is going to pass out this tool to you guys. We've got copies for everybody. And also, if you want digital copies, we'll be happy to send them.
Thank you.
But I'm holding you to your commitment. I don't want to see any of you guys up there with just fluff that sounds like something repackaged for someone else. I want to see something at your core. I want to see that, hey, I'm there. And I can tell from the responses you've been giving Gerald, I can tell from the responses you gave to my questions, you guys are in this for the right reason. You want to see lives change. You want to see people create their happiness. So before we dig in, I'm going to use one of my own personal crossroads to explain how this tool works. And it's based on one of the principles that I use as a mentor with all of my clients. So, for many, many years, and in fact, this is probably since I was a kid, I was always known as the guy with the party house. And it's true, even today. You can show up at our place in Clearfield and there's going to be people around a bonfire, there's going to be games going on, you name it. Half the time I get home, I don't know who's here or what they're doing. So that being said, we were the inevitable place to host a big New Year's Eve party for everybody. And we love party games. We go and get everyone we can get our hands on. This person said this was fun. Oh, you guys should try this. It's great for 50 people. Well, this New Year's Eve, we had about 30 people sitting around our living room. We were playing a game called Who's Most Likely To? How many of you have played it? Anybody? Oh, one person. He's like, I don't want to tell what my answers were. I got it. So it's a deck of cards that has little phrases on it. Some are just silly and ridiculous, like, who's most likely to wake up with a half-eaten burrito in their bed? And everyone in the room points to who they think it is. It's got to be Gerald, though. But something happened that night to me. A card came up that said, who's most likely to portray themselves as more rich than they are? Within 1 second, every finger in the room pointed to me. I was shocked. I said, are you kidding? What the heck? I'm the most honest guy ever. I am Mr. Authenticity. I'm all about the power of you. There's no way. Why would you guys think that? And I left not as happy as I usually do from these parties. And so a couple days later, I'm sitting with Jolene as we're working on some stuff, and I go, man, I'm going to tell you something that happened. And do I really come across as not who I really am? Because this is bothering me. She said, well, I think it's because you just exaggerate about everything. I'm like, oh, let's add insult to injury. Twist that knife a little deeper.
I just say how I see it.
Exactly. And that is why she's my business partner, because she will tell me immediately, nope, that doesn't work. That's stupid. I love it. Somebody with checks and balances. But, so as soon as she said that, it hit me. I'm not portraying myself as authentically as I'm trying to live. Somewhere there was a disconnect. And I started to look at what's happening in my life. My mentoring practice, I wasn't finding clients. I couldn't figure out what type of book I wanted to write. My speaking engagements were now getting less and less. They weren't paid anymore. It was now just freebies or people asking me to pay to speak. Things weren't adding up. So I committed to myself. I need to be authentic in everything I do. I don't care what anyone else thinks about me. And I realized I was so worried that if I went and talked to someone and they didn't think that I was financially successful, they wouldn't take me seriously. And these weren't huge, huge things, because I'll tell you how it manifested. I would do things like, whenever we went out to eat with a group of colleagues, oh, I'll pick up the bill, I got this. Doesn't mean I'm now struggling to pay my rent and borrowing from people, but I don't care. I want them to think I got it. I can take care of you all. Because look how successful I am. So it wasn't like I was out there bold-faced lying. But I was not acting in integrity with who I really was. So that story, I started to create my core principles. So look at what you have in front of you. And I want to go through a little bit of how this works. So if you see on the front, we've got a nice little diagram, and I'm going to draw this up here as best I can. Sorry, Jasmine, we're going to put you there for a second. So your crossroads in life are going to look something like this. You reach a point, something wakes you up. Dang, that's not working. And if you look at the second page we gave you that has a little worksheet on it, the instructions are for you to remember later what I'm going to say. But in those boxes, we start with the trigger. That was the thing that happened that woke you up. What was my trigger? Yep, everyone pointed the finger at me. That game, my partner, confirming it. Those are all part of my trigger. Holy wake-up call, that man. Okay, then you get to the next part. The next part is the realization. Wow, people think of me like that? What did I realize about me from it? What did I realize?
Inauthentic.
Yes, that I wasn't in integrity. That what?
Yeah, inauthentic.
I was not being authentic. So I go, oh man, I'm not? Are you kidding me? Then comes the crossroad. This is the shift. So you've got a couple things that are going to happen. When you hit your crossroads in life, you're going to shift one of four ways. And the reason it's so important to understand how you're shifting, that's what tells you, hey, when I'm teaching this principle, I need to use tools that are practical, or I need to use tools that are mindset, or I need to use tools that help them accomplish the same type of shift. So let's walk through each of these really quickly. So you reach this crossroads in your life, whatever the event is for you. You realize something, and you get a choice. And maybe it's everything I am and have done up to this life, coming up this road, this doesn't work at all. I am cleaning the slate, I am starting over, I'm changing my name, I'm moving across the country, and I'm going to start living like this. And your clean slate doesn't have to be that drastic. It just means nothing that I'm doing is working. I'm going to take a step back to the last crossroad and start at the drawing board again. It might be something simple. And I'll tell you, one that's been recent for me is I realize if I go to bed on time and get up on time, I get more done. Oh my gosh! Novel concept. My mother was right about something. But, so that's a logical shift. I now know, man, if I can set my alarm and get up 1 hour earlier than I would usually do, I'm actually more focused. It might be a spiritual shift. I believed this, but now my truth has changed. Now, I believe something different because I've seen this belief didn't work. And it might be, and these are my favorite ones, but keep going. You hit that crossroad, something wakes you up. You have to look at the bigger picture and say, this is awesome. It actually worked. I'm going to keep going that way. So come back to my story. What type of shift did I have? Logical? Okay, explain. How was this a logical shift?
With them telling you that as a group.
Absolutely. What did I do? Logical is all about your daily behaviors. What daily behaviors did I shift? What patterns?
Let them pick up the check.
Yeah, you probably just made those little steps, like you were more in alignment with who you were, and you're like, let's face the fact, I don't have the money, there's no way I can pick this up.
Yep.
So started doing maybe different habits that were more in alignment.
Probably. Now, let me help you out here just a little bit. So, I will tell you, my shift was spiritual, and this is the reason why. My mindset shifted. Logical is, I'm just making practical changes, but I still believe the same thing.
Right.
I believed I was authentic up to that point, until someone told me otherwise. So I had to change my belief about what it means to be an authenticity, what it means to be full of integrity. So here you go. This is a start over. This is practical. This is mindset. And this is confirmation. So those next two parts. What happens then is you transform in some way. You change. So I transformed, and my new belief was if I am truly in integrity and completely authentic, I'll have more success than I've had. I haven't tested that yet, but that's where my belief shifts. So that was the transformation block for me. Then you get to the principle. Okay, I've had this experience. I can remember when that happened. I remember how it felt. So what is the principle do you think I now teach my clients based on this crossroad?
Tell the truth.
Yeah. To be completely authentic. And I describe it this way. Being authentic means doing what you can with what you have from where you are and being honest about what that is. I now have a principle to teach. I just found something that's a core message I can teach people. Gosh darn it, I went through it. So, and the way you know if it's a key crossroads that's part of your core message, because we have a lot of things that get us to reevaluate all the time, is afterwards when you apply the shift, do you get a bunch of keep going crossroads? Because there's your confirmation that, yeah, it's working. Oh my gosh. Let me tell you what some of mine were. And I made a quick list because otherwise I ramble. I love notes. Most speakers don't use them very often. The reason I do is you don't want me speaking for an hour and a half. So, right after I realized, hey, my finances are not what I'm portraying them to be, I said, I need an opportunity to make more stable income. But I don't want to give up what I'm doing as a mentor or a trainer or a teacher. I want to build that. I was approached by the head of the continuing education department at Salt Lake Community College who said, hey, you're a good teacher. You know some of the things that all these companies are hiring us to teach. Will you come be a trainer? Okay, confirmation. I was true and honest about where I was. There's an opportunity. I get to keep going. Another one was I was sitting in a meeting And for a long time, I was struggling with how do I get more paid speaking gigs? And I'm not talking these little $200 school district ones. I want the $5,000 keynotes. So I'm sitting in a meeting, the Professional Speakers Association meeting. We're all talking tips and tricks. And I'll tell you, I've been to that meeting several times before this show. And usually, when a discussion came up, I'd like to show off how much I know, even though I'm not succeeding the way I want to. Well, today, at that time, I was sitting across from a lady who I know gets paid speaking gigs on a regular basis to the amounts I would like. And instead of trying to show off how cool I was, how successful, how knowledgeable I was, I said, you know, I would love to do what you do. Would you be willing to teach me how you do it? Her eyes lit up. She said, yeah, you have time for a phone call next week? She's now one of my speaking mentors. And a lot of my success is because of that. If I wasn't authentic, it wouldn't happen. And there's so many more I can get into. We're kind of running short on time, but I want to dig into, and I'll tell you, there are 5 core principles I teach in my message. My core message about creating your happiest life, because you're in tune with and true to your highest self, is based on these 5 core principles. You know, number 1, be authentic. Number 2, be accountable. Number 3, take positive action. Number 4, detach from the outcome. Number 5, live in gratitude. When I apply those 5 in my life, I have the happiest life at this moment that I ever had.
Did you run that list again?
Yes. Be authentic. So let me write it up here for you. How about that?
That would be ideal.
I'm going to flip this crossroad. We're going to write that list for you. And with all of my clients, these are the 5 core principles we base everything on. Be authentic. Be accountable. Take positive action. Detach from the outcome. I'm sorry you have to put up with my handwriting. And live in gratitude.
Can you explain a little bit more about what you mean by positive action?
I can, but I cannot today, and I'll tell you why. Because right here, I'm just trying to help you start to get into your core message. And that would be me jumping into, I'm now working as a mentor with you guys on my core message. If you would like to contact me later, I'd love to have a discussion with you in a week. I will share it with everybody. But I want to get you guys to using this tool. That's what's most important to this presentation right now. So yes, I would love to talk in detail about all of this. I blog about it, I podcast about it, I teach about it, I hold events about it, you name it. So if you have any other questions about how those core principles work for me and my clients, let's open a discussion. So I have one more gift for you. Nice. So, normally we don't do a lot of one-on-one consultation with people. How many of you would like a little bit of one-on-one help in using this tool for your core message? Okay, so if we gift you with a free consultation, my partner's just going to hand you a sign-up sheet. Just give me your name, your email, your phone number if you're interested. We'll contact you. We'll set up a time to meet. And then we can talk more about all of this. But for right now, my biggest question to you guys, how many of you had an event come to mind while we were talking about key crossroads and how that changes your life? Good. Guess what you just got? It's an omen. The universe, God, whatever you call your higher power, gives you omens to direct you to fulfill your mission. Pay attention when they happen. Take the step and follow where it goes. Do you guys have any questions for what we've talked about so far?